Hi Flosstube! Welcome to my channel. My name is Kim and I am Barbara's daughter. I am back to show you a ton of stuff today. I have what I've been working on and my plans for 2021, and I have a ton of stitchy haul and kindness and Christmas gifts to go over and show you. So I'm going to get started with what I was working on prior to the new year. I usually don't have a lot of cross stitch plans. I like to just stitch what I want when I want. So I did make some plans for the new year, like very loose plans to work on some of my whips that I keep forgetting that I have. So until January 1st, though, I was just stitching on whatever I wanted. So I'm going to show you what I was doing prior to the new year. And I started on December 21st, Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais. I'm sure you've all seen this by now, with the fabulous pink house that doesn't look pink if you use the called for colors, but that's what we get for dye lots, right? So I actually am not using, I have a few of the called for colors, but mostly I'm just using what I had in my stash, and the pink I'm using is Victorian Motto, and it's called Tinted Bisque. And I think it's a pretty good shade of pink for this house. It's not exact, not an exact match, but it's pretty good. So let me just move my needle here so I don't lose it. I worked on this for almost a week before I got tired of stitching on this and wanted to try something else. So I made quite a bit of progress, did the top border. I'm not sure how well you can see the basket on top of the house. I am using, hold on just a second, let me find it. Whitewash, I think. Yeah, Weeks Whitewash. And that is not a super bright, it looks really bright white when you're looking at it, but this is a pretty light fabric. This is 36 count silk weaver. I don't know the color. I think it actually might be cameo, but I'm not 100% sure. So it's a pretty light fabric. So the white shows up pretty well in person, but not, I don't know how well it's coming out on camera. I'm not restitching that huge basket though. So it is what it is. And I did the birds. I did all the stuff in the house that I needed to do so I could just fill in. So now when I go back to this, I can just work on filling in the house. And I probably will get back to this later on this month and maybe finish it. I don't know. We'll see what other things I get caught up with and how much time I have to give to it. But I love the pattern. I'm enjoying that. And I think, excuse me, I think because it's Winter Rose Manor, it's not really a Christmas or holiday, you know, stitch. I can keep it up for the winter. So I'm excited about that. So that is one thing I was working on. And then I pulled out my stocking for my son. This is Stony Creek Toy Soldier stocking. And I'm almost done with the whole Nutcracker at this point. I'm using the called for DMC, and I'm stitching this on 28 count. Picture This Plus, whatever it was called for, I think. Doubloon, which I actually really love this color. But I'm only using one strand of thread because that's what I like to do. So here's my, sorry, I didn't iron anything today because if I had to stop and iron, this was not happening. So here's my Nutcracker so far. This is the bottom. The stocking goes down on an angle by his pants there. So I just have to fill in the blue in his pants, and then the whole Nutcracker is done. So I'm really excited about that. I did not do any back stitching on him yet. I don't know if I'm going to do the back stitching. I don't have a problem back stitching. I know a lot of people don't like it. It doesn't bother me. I don't mind doing it. But because I'm stitching this with one strand of thread, I feel like it looks kind of vintagey, and you know, the coverage is a little more sparse. And I kind of like that, and I'm not sure I want the back stitching. Or maybe I don't want all of the back stitching. I'm gonna have to see. So after the Nutcracker's done, there's a few things up top and the name, but then the big chunk of stitching is down here with the bear. Actually, there's two bears back there and a present. So I definitely want to have this done for next Christmas because I have a couple other stockings that I'll have to pick out and start for other family members. So I'd like to at least get this one done by next Christmas. And I really enjoy stitching on it. So I'm just gonna keep going even though the holidays are over. I don't mind stitching on things, Christmassy things year round. So I'll be working on that as we go along. And then the last thing I stitched, I started this on New Year's Eve actually, and finished it on New Year's Day. And it's Let's Talk Winter, but I did the small pillow. I actually was going to do the big one, but the piece of fabric I had wasn't big enough to do it. So I said, all right, I'll just do the small one. And here is my finish. I stitched it on 18 count black Aida. I think it's super cute. And I'm going to do what Kathy does with the pillow and put like a patchwork of different fabrics together. I just haven't picked those out yet and done that. So that's how I'll finish this. So this was actually my first finish of 2021 because I started at New Year's Eve and finished it New Year's Day. So I really like how that came out. And I have my, I did not use the cold 4 threads for that. I just pulled my own, get them out here. Just pulled my own threads. I did use chalk. I have so much chalk because I had ordered like the kits for Kathy and Priscilla's patterns, I think the jars. And so they all came with like 2 skeins of the chalk. So I have so much of it. So I used that. And then the rest I just pulled. I have Victorian motto threads and I use Schoolhouse Red for the red. So I'm going to keep this all kitted up with the pattern. And I have some other black fabric for the other small in here because I do want to do that. And I want to do the big piece as well. So that is going to stay in my project bag by Mom until I have time to do another one. So that is my first finish of 2021. All right, so then I moved into January. I have my book of days. And like I said, I don't really like to make plans. Like I don't want to wheel, I don't want to spin and find out I have to stitch on one thing. But at the same time, I do have whips that I haven't been getting to because what I've been doing is starting something and finishing the new thing and then starting something else and finishing the new thing. But I have a bunch of stuff that doesn't get finished and I forget that I have it. And I probably have 20 or 30 whips that are just sitting around. And I should say some of those are whips, but some of them are kitted projects. So I have the fabric and the floss and the pattern. And I just haven't started them yet. So I decided for every month in my book of days, I was going to write in here one project I was going to start and one project that was a whip that I was going to work on. And anything else in the month I could work on, you know, whatever I want. But at some point during the month, I was going to work on one particular new start and one particular whip because then I will get through 12 projects that I have kitted up and 12 whips I will put some work on. Now, each project I have kind of different goals. Some of them are like, I want to work on this for a week or I want to just make some progress. And others are, I want to finish this because it's close. So it really depends on the project. But I was going to take a couple minutes now to just go through and show you all my starts and all my whips that I want to work on for 2021. So it's not exactly a whip parade. I did a whip parade in, I think, July or August. And the thing is, all those whips I still have. I mean, a few of them I finished, but it would be pretty repetitive to just do whip parade. So I thought I would do this instead. You'll see most of my whips this way and some kitted projects and just my plans. So January for my start, I decided I was going to start the For the Birds series by Blackbird Designs. There are 9 patterns. I'm starting with number 1, which is called It's Spring Fever. And I'm going to do these patterns all in one piece, as I've seen a bunch of other people do. So I have a piece of 36 count sand by Picture This Plus, and I have all the called for colors, which are completely amazing and beautiful. And as I was stitching these last night, I was thinking, I have seen, I forget who it was, maybe Michelle at the Striped Rose, because she does a lot of like crochet blankets, and I feel like I was looking at those, and she did something semi-recently with blues and grays and taupe colors, and I really love the way this looks as I'm stitching on it with these colors, and I thought, oh, maybe I will either crochet or knit a blanket in these colors as well. So It's Spring Fever. I've worked on this for 2 days, and this is what I've gotten done so far. The colors on this are, like I said, the called for, but they are much darker or like more saturated than what the picture looks like, which is fine. I really love them. And so I figure this is 2 days work, but again, weekend days, vacation days. So 4 or 5 days, I ought to be able to get one of these done. So I'm going to try and get 2 blocks done this month. I'm going to hopefully work on this tonight and some tomorrow night, and then maybe be finished with this block, and I'll put it away for a few days, work on something else, and then I'm going to pull it back out later in the month to work on block 2, or pattern 2, which is the Light Upon the Lawn. And I'll just show you all the rest of the patterns while we're here. Why not? This one I'm going to have to do a little work with. This is called She Sights a Bird. And I'm kind of holding it at an angle so that my ring light hopefully does not show too much up on that pattern. I want to get rid of that cat down there. I have nothing against cats. Like them. I used to have cats myself growing up. But I'm not into that particular cat. I don't know. Maybe it might just be the size of him. I mean, he's huge. He looks like a tiger. I don't know. So I might get rid of the cat, move this bird down, and put another like small bird flying above him or something. I don't know. So I'm going to have to do some like recharting of that. But aside from that, it's an alphabet, so that one will go really fast. This is the 4th one, All the Hills Echoed. Sing a Song of Seasons is number 5. 6 is Pleasure of the Fleeting Year. 7 is Hear the Crickets Sing. 8 is The Summer Beaming Forth. You can tell these were released, you know, monthly for a while. And then number 9, The Last Ripe Berries. So I'm really excited because although this is going to be a very big piece, I feel like each section, each pattern is small and doable in a couple days. So that is my new start for January. I'm sure I'll have other new starts, but this was my mandatory required new start. I've had it kitted up for a long time. I really wanted to work on it. And so that is what I've been working on. And like I said, I'll probably work on that until the first block is finished. And then what I'm going to move on to is Brenda Gervais' Schoolhouse, Summer Schoolhouse. Let's see, do I have a picture of this? Yes. And this is part of the whole series that she has. And I started doing this 1/1 on 25 count mushroom Lugana. And I was really enjoying doing it. I just stopped. I changed the color of my house and made it blue, which I love. So my goal in January is to finish this block because I did the house except for the door. I don't think there's any stitching in the window, so I have to do the door. And then I have to do the bird and this, I guess it's a strawberry, and the stuff on the bottom and this little medallion up there. So I think the hardest part is done. I do have to get back in the swing of things, stitching 1 over 1, but that's all right. We can work that out. So that is what I'm going to work on after I finish the block in the Blackbird Designs project. And once that's done, I'm going to stitch on whatever I want for the rest of the month. I probably will go back at some point and do another block in the For the Birds series. But other than that, it's anything I want. And I have a bunch of things kitted up that I might want to start. So it might be a month of starts. Who knows? We'll see. So moving on to my start and whip for February. Just have them all in this basket. 2 projects for each month, start and a whip. So for February, my start is Sweetheart Hill by Plum Street Samplers. Emily C. did this at the end of the year, and I was going to do it then, but I was Christmas stitching and just got myself into other things. So I love the big house, and I mean, it's big, but I like stitching on like solid, easy stitching. Once you get those windows in, you just fill in. I am using Silk Weaver 36 count. This is, I believe, Pecan is the color. It's not really sure. Oh, that's better. When I hold it back here, it looks more accurate. And let me just grab my board. I have so much stuff today that I am reaching all over the place for it. Okay, so my pecan fabric, and then I picked my own colors. I don't have the called for, so for that red house, my red is not as dark. It is, let's see, what am I using? Licorice Red by Classic Colorworks, and then I have a whole bunch of pinks. There's that Licorice Red. Let me pull out the picture again. So their house is really dark red. Almost like a, I don't want to say maroon because it's not really that dark, but it's not purpley, but it's a very, it's like a brick red, and mine's a little brighter. And I went with kind of like peachy pinks for my pinks, which some of them are in the called for. And then the green for the hill, I have Dried Peas from Victorian Motto and Mossy from Classic Colorworks as my 2 greens. So I really love the colors. I feel like this is a very springy piece with the colors that I have, and that might be good in February because maybe it'll be cold and snowy and not very springy, so this would be nice to stitch on. So that will be my new start, at least one of them, in February. And that's been kitted up for a while. And then my whip for February is called Christina Webb Marking Sampler. It's by Shakespeare's Peddler. And it looks like this. And, oh, so I should say for Sweetheart Hill, my goal is just to work on it for like a week or so and see how far I get and see how I feel. I don't really have like an amount that I want to get done. For this one, Christina Webb, I would really like to just finish it because it's a marking sampler, so it's alphabets mostly and small motifs and, you know, pretty quick stitching. This is what I have done so far, which is really just a line and a half of it. This is a 36 count. I think this might be a Wexford linen, but I don't know the color. And so I have, looking at the pattern, it seems like, oh, actually, that is the last letter in that row. So I have 2 rows done. I did this zigzag. Then I have to, the next one just says A, B, C, D, E, F. And then there's 2 full lines of alphabet followed by another 2 full lines of alphabet. So I really just have to do 4 lines of alphabet and then the little, down at the bottom, her name and the year she was born. I mean, this, I could get this done in a week. I just need to sit down and do it, right? And I am using the called for colors, which she had sent a, she had made, Kitten Stitcher, Teresa Vanette had made a pack, a floss pack. And I started this so long ago that I was putting them in baggies still, which I no longer do. I have them on floss rings, so I'll have to transfer that over. And there are 5 colors, but to be honest with you, it's mostly the one color, Coal by Weeks, which is the very dark color. But you can see over here, there was like a white and a lighter gray, so there's a couple colors in there. And the way that it's suggested you do this is actually to stitch it on 2 separate pieces and sew it together in the middle. I don't know whether I'll do that or not. Actually, I take that back. You don't stitch it on 2 separate pieces. You stitch it the first half up top, and then you skip like several inches and stitch the bottom, and then you fold the fabric up so it's the same piece of fabric, and you like stitch a seam in it. But I'm not sure if I'll do that. I'll have to wait till I get to that point and see. You know, do I want it to look more like authentic and really old, or do I just want to stitch it the way it is? So I'm not sure about that, but I'd like to finish that in February. Okay, my March new start. I'm excited about this one because I want to have a bowl full of red samplers, like small pillows, and I have one done so far, which is Luminous Fiber Arts, Misty Purcell's, I forget the name of it. I'll insert a picture here of the pillow that I've done. It's 2 little birds. I'll write the name of the chart too. And I really love it, but it's sitting alone, has no friends in its dough bowl. So I am going to do, this is, I cannot even pronounce this. It's a French pincushion from a Blackbird Designs book called Ooh La La, appropriate. They're a bunch of French flair designs. And so it's mostly red, but it has that little patchwork of colors at the bottom, which I liked. And I have the same fabric, the pecan, that I'm using for Sweetheart Hill, I have in here. And then I just picked colors from my stash to go along with all of the patchwork at the bottom. But the main red that I'm using is Country Redwood, which is right here. So I'll be doing this on this. And this one, my goal is to finish because it is a small. It's just that alphabet, and that's solid stitching down at the bottom, but it's not too bad. So that'll be March, and my goal would be to finish that little pincushion and add it to my dough bowl with my other red pink. I bought a couple other red patterns too, so hopefully I'll get that bowl up and running. Okay, my WIP for March is called Like a Cherry Blossom. And this is a terrible copy of that I printed out of the PDF, so I'm going to insert a picture here of what it would look like when it's done. So I did start this already. I have not done much, but this is just a 36 count platinum linen. And I am using the called for colors, except that I wanted pink flowers instead of white flowers. So I am using Gentle Arts Tea Rose for the flowers in the border, which are supposed to be white. And then someone had asked me when I showed this last time about the centers. I'm using the called for colors in the centers, so that I didn't change. So I haven't done much on this, but I really love it. The colors I think are really pretty. So there's 2 or 3 of these from Stitches Through the Years that I downloaded and I have kitted up. One of them is a start for later in the year for me. So I'm excited to do all of those. And that's my WIP for March. So moving on to April, speaking of Stitches Through the Years, here is another one. This one is called Sampler Hope, And again, inserting a picture because terrible printer job. That was before I got my new printer. So this is what it should look like when it's done. I have not started it. I have a 36 count silk weaver fabric in driftwood. And I have the called for colors, except I think I need to double check before April gets here, because I think I'm missing a couple. Is this the one that you needed? Actually, it looks like I'm just missing two. One's a DMC too, so I might just sub out what I'm missing. I have the important ones, the purples and mauve-y colors. So that will be April's new start. And then for the whip, I have a Rosewood Manor piece that is called Green on Green. And just pull it out here. I am not doing it green on green. I am doing it multicolor on green. Let's see. I'm gonna insert a picture here as well, because I don't have, this is just my working copy here. Comes in a big book, and I don't like opening and closing books when the project is so large, because I feel like it's just a lot of wear and tear on the pattern. So I will insert a picture of what it should look like when it's done. I am doing this on 36 count Salt Marsh Green with a Threadworks silk. No, Thread Gatherer silk, Silken Colors, called Dried Roses. And I love it. I love stitching with it, and I love that is all one color. So it's variegated from pink to green and browns. It's just so, so pretty. This is going to be a beautiful piece when it's done. It's more green like that. When I hold it back, you see it better as far as the color. Really, really pretty thread. It's huge, and I get distracted when I stitch on this for a couple days. Then I'm like, oh, but look, I have this small piece. I could finish so much quicker. So I get distracted and move on. So that's why I'm going to work on it in April, and I certainly am not going to finish it in April. I think it will be a goal just to, you know, work on it and see how far I can get in a week or so until I get tired of working on it. Okay, May. May's new start is Pink House Sampler from Plum Street Samplers. Let me take it out of the bag here so it's not so much of a glare. Huge pink house. I'm not sure about the verse in that. I may change it. I know that Celeste is doing this with maybe Christy from Crosshatch Quilts. I'm not sure. And I feel like they said maybe they were going to rechart the verse as well. Do something different in there. But I'll worry about that when I get to it, because that's a huge house I gotta deal with first. So I have for this my very first Lakeside Linen. Everyone raves about it. I've never used it. And I got a piece and put it in here, and I still haven't used it because I haven't started this project. So I'm excited to stitch on Lakeside for the first time. This is Vintage Buttercream. And I have the called for colors. Which are a lot of pinks, as you would imagine. So I am all set and ready to go with that for May as my new start. And then in May as well, I'm going to work on Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut. I love this pattern. I love stitching on it. I'm really happy with the fabric I'm using. It's another huge project. So I don't anticipate finishing it, but it would be nice if I could get like that third done up there with the boat, not the boat, like flowers and flag and the eagle and everything up in that top third. I am stitching this on an XU Designs fabric called Little Gray Dove. And I love the color. It's more of a blue gray than a gray. And I've got that top border done and it started the alphabet, but I really need to get back to it. Using the called for colors. And we'll just see how much progress we can make in May. Now, something like this, I might end up stitching on sooner than that. I might get to it before then because I love it and I really want to stitch on it. But we'll see. The only rule is that sometime in May I have to stitch on it. And in June, my new start will be Stars and Stripes, which I will have to insert a picture here because I only have my working copy. It's a Blackbird Designs, and I don't know if this one is still in print. I think I got it off of a stash unload. And this is a scrap of 36 count linen that I just got somewhere, you know, somebody wasn't using it, gave it to me, some kind of a thing like that. So I don't know what color it is, but it's, that's pretty accurate, I think, as to the color. And I am using Gentle Arts Cranberry and a Midnight Dark by Victorian Motto because it's just the two colors. And this is a pretty small one, and it's an alphabet and a bunch of stars with a border. So I feel like I'm going to try and finish this one in June because that would be a nice patriotic stitch to do and have up on my wall for the 4th of July. Okay, and then for my whip, I'm going to be working on Brenda Gervais' Manor at Quaker Hill, which looks like that. It's huge. I am not using all the called for colors. I think I have some of them, but I substituted a lot of Victorian Mottos. I am doing this on a Picture This Plus. Do I know what? Oh, Legacy. I think I am using Legacy. That's the called for. And that's what I have so far. So there are flowers down here. I'm not sure how well you can see that pink. But I really like it. It's another big one that I'd like to get back to and work on, but it just, other things have been calling my name, so I haven't done it yet. So that will be my whip that I'm working on in June, and I am sure I will not get it done, but hopefully get a good week's worth of progress in that. For July, I am going to start 252 Words by Primrose Needleworks. It is the full text of the Gettysburg Address. This will be good for my patriotic wall with Lady of the Flag. It's obviously a lot of words, 252 of them, but that's all it is. So hopefully it will not languish in my pile of BAPs forever. Hopefully it will get done. I ordered from Kitten Stitcher an XU Designs linen to stitch this on because you need a piece bigger than a fat quarter, so I didn't have anything in my stash that was bigger. So I'm waiting for that to come, but I have these Victorian Motto, mostly Victorian Motto colors. I have Classic Colorworks Bamboo for the white, but everything else is Victorian Motto. Then I'm going to do the piece in. And I got this piece from my sister-in-law for Christmas, either not this past Christmas, I think it was the one before, but it might have even been 2018. And she purchased it because she thought it was scary. As in like, wow, this is going to take forever and super intimidating to do. That's how she chose the projects for me. So hopefully it will not be scary. So that will be my new start, and then my whip, which is another huge one. July is going to be I'm going to have to put in some smaller projects here because the start and the whip are very large projects. I am doing Shores of Hawk Run Hollow. Actually, this is a bigger picture. I am still in the middle here doing this big boat I am using the called for DMCs on a piece of Picture This Plus Heartland. And so I did the first block in the corner, then I came down, I want to do this double block. So I would like to finish that double block in July, which I think is a reasonable goal. And this is another one I could see myself picking up before then, if I can keep the new projects at bay long enough to do that, because I really like that. Okay, August. My new start is going to be Blackbird Designs Lady Liberty. It's a drum, and I am going to do this. Oh, I don't have any fabric picked out for it. I will have to get some fabric for it. Better leave this out to do that. These are, I believe these are the called for colors. And I will have to get some fabric for that. So I'm going to leave this package out so that I can do that and have it ready for August. Okay, my whip in August is Hands On Designs Laundry Series. I did the first one. Let me get that to show you. Okay, so I had done, and I don't think I have the picture for this one, but I had done the Never Ending Cycle. And I'm kind of a grayish fabric. I changed the colors. I put some red in there. I really like the colors that I used. I do have the wall of my laundry room painted that blue color. So I want to do the other two. So the next one I have to do is Self-Service. No, it's called Loads of Fun. So I'm going to use the same fabric and the same colors. It was just colors that I pulled from my stack. Oh, wait, here's the... oh no, this is the third one I have to do. Irony. But I don't have the picture for the Never Ending Cycle. So I'm going to go ahead and do it in the same fabric and the same colors. I don't think I have the name of the fabric here. It's a silk weaver. It's a like grayish color. But it's like taupe. It's like, is it gray? Is it brown? I don't know, but it was really the perfect color for my floss colors. My red is Cherry Pie by Victorian Mono. The blue is Weeks Capri. And then I just have some yellow, brown, white for the other colors. So that will be my whip in August. I'd like to get the second one done. I don't think I'd get both of them done, the two that I need to do, but you never know. That would be awesome to get both of them done. Definitely one though. Okay, September. I am starting, I actually have a couple projects in here from the Sewing Club book, and I'm not sure which one I want to start. I might just wait and see. I have this drum. These are my copies from the book, so picture isn't perfect, but it's called A Bit of Summer. And I also have kitted up this one that Liz from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch is doing right now, I think. And that is called Tiny Treetops Rose or Thyme. So I might start both of them because they're both kitted up in here. I have, let's see, what do I have here? A whole bunch of colors. I might have the call fors because it looks like I bought some weeks that aren't on my own floss tags yet. And it looks like everything is weeks. So that means these are the called for colors. Because that's not something I normally don't buy weeks unless I'm doing Blackbird designs, because I feel like it's a very thin floss, and so I like darker flosses. So for the drum, I actually have the pink, the sanguine fabric, which is the old Weeks Zweigart base, and it's more peachy than pink, so I'm not 100% sure on that. I have to check it out. And then for the other one, Tiny Treetops, I have in here Stone Gray and Platinum. So I don't know if I was trying to decide between the two, for that one or for the drum. I'm not sure. I've got lots of fabric in here. I've got floss. We'll just see what happens when we get to September. But I'm going to make a start on at least one of them, maybe both of them, and we'll see how far we get. The drum is probably something I could finish in September. Probably not the tiny treetops. My whip for September is Blackbird Designs Feast of Friendship, because I started that this October, November, and just didn't get around to finishing it. So I am stitching this with some of the called for colors, but also some of my own from Stash, and that's where I've gotten so far. This is a 36 count silk weaver. Don't know the color. But got to finish that huge house and then do the basket of fruit and all that. I mean, it's possible I could finish that. It depends how much time I spend on my Blackbird Design Sewing Club starts. We'll see. Okay, October. Getting towards the end of next year. I want to do Anne Topley from the Scarlet House. I kitted this up last year when Liz from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch started hers. And I have it with a piece of Nocturne from Picture This Plus, which is like a more blue. This has, this called for double dyed black forest linen from Lakeside Linen. Probably not going to find that, right? But you could do it on a black, which I might go back and do it on a black Ada. I have all of these colors that I just picked from my stash. The idea is that they're super bright colors, which is odd for like Anne Topley from 1802. These looks like you would expect them to be less bright, but as I'm looking at this, I may go back and get some black Ada and stitch it on that. So we'll see. I'm going to leave the Nocturne in here, but I'll definitely be starting that in October, and we will see how far we get on that. My width for October is going to be Christmas Garden. I may get to this sooner as well because I love it. It's beautiful. It's just huge, and I have so many other things I want to stitch, so I don't get it all done, right? I'm using Victorian Motto colors that are no longer available because my skeins say last one. So if you already have them, you might be able to use them, but I don't think you can get them anymore. And I'm stitching this on Picture This Plus, I believe. I don't know. I feel like every time I do this, I tell you a different color. I feel like I might have written this one down. So let me just quickly see if I did. Maybe not. I was writing some of them down, but then I stopped. I'm going to try and do better in January, well, in 2021, and write in my planner here, my book of days, like for the one I started, the Spring Fever Blackbird design, I wrote down my fabric and whether I was using the called for threads. This is definitely Picture This Plus, possibly Wren, possibly Heartland. I don't know. It's kind of greeny, which makes me think it could be Wren. But this is my progress so far. So I just have to finish this motif and I'll have like the upper third done. So, I mean, it would be great to say, oh, I want to finish this. I think I could say I want to finish it this year. I don't know if I'll finish in October though. We'll have to see. And then my start for November is going to be Ann Morrison, which is a sale going on now. There's a Facebook group for it. It's a Hands Across the Sea Samplers pattern, and it is celebrating the anniversary of Traditional Stitches, which is a cross-stitch store in Canada. And I have the DMC that is called for, which is very pretty. Lots of nice colors there. And Silk Weaver Parisian Taupe, and that's a 38 count. So I think that'll look nice. I'm gonna start that in November, unless I feel like starting it sooner. We'll see. I was going to start it in December with everybody else with the stitch along, but then I never got around to it. So I have toyed with the idea of picking it up because I probably could catch up to where everyone is supposed to be, but haven't done it yet. Okay, November's WIP is Bethlehem by Imaginating Designs. I am stitching this with Mrs. Sadis's silk in copper on a piece of silk weaver. I think it's might be called Precious Metals, this color, and I love it. I would love to get this done. It's long and skinny, but I've only done a little bit of it. So that is my WIP for November. And finally, end of the year, my start for December, which is not really appropriate for December at all, but I was at the end of my starts and this is what I had left, which is Liberty Lodge by Plum Street Samplers. More of a patriotic than a Christmas start, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of Christmas starts that month. I just have a piece of Seraphim fabric left over. I think I don't know what color it was. I don't know. Seraphim. And I have the called for colors to go with it. So it's a small piece, but that's a huge house. So we'll see how much I get done on that one. I'll probably be doing some Christmas stitching too, so I don't know that I will work, you know, too much on that. And my WIP, which I would really like to get done because enough already, let's just get this done. Brick House Sampler by Brenda Gervais. Love it. Did this on 36 count Ale by Picture This Plus. Actually, I feel like this is 32 count. Look how much I have done. Like 2/3. I really just need to finish this, right? So I totally love it. It's beautiful. So let's hope I can get this finished. Maybe I'll even finish it, pull it out and finish it before December, and then I'll have something else I can fit in December. All right, so those are all my plans written in my book, all my starts, all my WIPs, one a month for this year, and then all others as I see fit as I go along. So I want to show you some of the things that I got for Christmas and that I purchased with some Christmas stitchy money, and that will lead me to more projects that I plan on doing. So these two, I just sort of, I'm going to call this as part of my haul because I had to buy threads for it, but I actually had the patterns. I have Prairie Schooler American Strawberries that I would like to do. And I wanted to make these big strawberries. So I have 25 count. I'm going to stitch it 2/2. It's just red and blue. And I feel like, all right, I can stitch 2 threads instead of 1. I'll survive. This is Potato, which I think is just a fantastic name for a piece of fabric. It does kind of look like the inside of a baked potato. 25 count potato. And I just have Briar Rose from Gentle Arts and Freedom from Gentle Arts, which I didn't want like a super bright color on those. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I bought those threads and got myself all kitted up. I don't know when I'm going to start that, but maybe January when I'm done with my required WIP and start. The other thing I kitted up and had to go out and buy a few flosses for, see, I've been feeling like doing some Prairie Schoolers. So I have this one, which is Prairie Birds, and Elizabeth Ann can stitch, third mention in this Flosstube, Liz. Everything she stitches I like, she's doing this, and this is my photocopy, so really terrible colors there. But if you want to see what it looks like, really beautiful. She's done one completely, I think, and she's working on the second one. And these are tiny. They're like 47, 49 stitches. So super small. I'm going to do this on Neutral by Victorian Motto Samplers Fabrics. And I have all the called for DMCs. I was going to change them And then I was like, why are you messing with Prairie Schooler? Because the colors look really good together. I did change the yellow. So they want you to use 725, which is super bright yellow for those yellow birds there. And yeah, they're super bright yellow, but I don't know that I want that yellow. So I have 744, which is still super bright yellow, but not as bright as 725 is. So I did change that color, but left everything else. And I don't know if I'll do them all, but I do like birds. I have a thing for birds, cross-stitch birds. I like them. So I might do them all, stick them in a dough bowl. I'm gonna need like 45 dough bowls when I stitch all this stuff. I need a red dough bowl, I need Christmas dough bowls, I need a bird dough bowl. So I'm gonna need a lot. All right. So I got some, I got a gift card to 123 Stitch. So I purchased and then kitted up some patterns. I've seen this before, but I just randomly saw on their site, Heartstring Samplers, It Must Have Been the Mistletoe. It's like a band sampler, which I felt like for a while I've kind of wanted to do. I don't know why. It's actually, I mean, I feel like pretty easy to break that down and get it done. It's not a lot of like solid stitching. So I got that, and I have 36 count sand, picture this plus, and I bought silk, Belle Soie, the color is Attic Tea. And I think that is going to look really nice. Took my pattern out of the bag, then I put it back in, and I need it out of the bag. Okay, so I think that's gonna look really nice. I'm excited about that. There's a lot of variegation in it. It's very soft because it's silk, so I think I'm gonna like stitching on it. I really want to start this ASAP. I know it's a Christmas sampler, right? Because it's mistletoe, but it's gonna take me a long time to do it, so I might as well start it now. So I kitted that up, putting that in the might do in January pile. Then I have a couple smalls that I also got from the Scarlet House. I've been wanting to do this one since it came out, Autumn Alphabet. And I don't know that I'll do it on the horn, the little paddle thing. I might just make a pillow out of it. But I have the called for colors and a piece of 36 count Winter Moon. And that ginger snap color doesn't really show up that well, but it's surrounded by the orange in the picture, so I think that's gonna be fine. They really have it on kind of like a pale fabric, so I wanted to do the same thing. So that's a pretty small one. Got to start that soon, right? Because I could get it done pretty soon. I have another little red pincushion I want to do for my so far non-existent collection. For my one red pincushion that I have to add to that. And this is another Scarlet House pattern, I See Red. I'm going to do that in a pincushion. I am using the Cold for Cherry Cobbler, which is a great red. And again, Winter Moon by Zweigart as the fabric. So I am excited to do, that's 36 count. Almost everything I do is 36 count. So that's all kitted up, ready to go. Got to get started on that. So those are all my kitted up projects. Other things that I bought. G. Leger, 1898. I saw Kindred Stitcher do this. I saw Deb from Country Stitchers doing it. I think Celeste has it to do. Celeste, are you doing this? Am I right? From Celeste Creates? I think maybe she's got this to do. And I hemmed and I hawed, and finally I was like, I'm just gonna buy it, because even if I never do it, I want that pattern, and what if it goes out of print and whatever. So Deb at Country Stitchers did a conversion. So did Lisa, Kindred Stitcher, because it comes with the silk and DMC, but she did a conversion to overdyed flosses, cottons. So I think I am going to do that. So I have some of them. I don't know that I have all of them yet. I think I am waiting on another order of floss because I think it requires a lot. And nobody has Weathered Barn from Gentle Arts, so that's okay. I'll just wait. Eventually, it will come back. But Weathered Barn is one of the flosses that she uses, I think, for that house. So I don't know when I'm going to do this. It's so pretty and huge. Maybe this will be one of my starts for 2022. Who knows? But I have that that I purchased. And I also, so I got that chart from Kitten Stitcher and the flosses from Anita's Little Stitches. And I also, you have to spend $25 at Anita's. So I got this Santa from Prairie Schooler. And, you know, a lot of people are like, I want to do all the Prairie Schooler Santas. But then you have to go back to like 1980 when they started, and I'll never get those done. So I've decided I'm going to start with 2020, and I'm going to do all the ones from now on, because I could do one a year. Easy, right? So I have to do this one before next year's comes out. That's my goal. So, got that. Didn't get the floss, but it's just DMC. And then I got from 123 Stitch again. These are all in a different order. They're not together with the other things I purchased. I got Birds and Berries from Prairie Schooler because, again, I'm kind of obsessed with Prairie Schooler and birds right now. I'm not sure why. I did not get the floss or fabric or anything, so that's just to add to my stash kind of pattern. I had seen this next pattern. I don't know who I saw doing this. Maybe Amy Loves Toads? Maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy. May I, a small house and a large garden have? Now listen, I can't garden at all. Black thumb. But that is really super pretty. And since I have found out that I can stitch on Black Ada, I'm totally going to do it on Black Ada, because look how pretty those flowers are. So I don't know when I'm going to do this, but I have it ready to go. Another pattern I got, I had seen this also recently on somebody else's Flosstube. Artful Offerings Rocking Horse Holiday. I think that that fabric, whatever they use, is stunning. And let's see, what is it? Picture This Plus Ale. Yep, love it. I'm going to have to get that for that pattern. But that's a someday start, not a right now start. So we'll see. I also, back to Kitten Stitcher, got Early Christmas Morning Blackbird Designs. So that'll be a next year at Christmas time kind of project. I got a free pattern from Kitten Stitcher. Merry Christmas? Noel? Doesn't have a title on it. By Marjorie Massey. I got, of course, The Winds of Autumn. Gonna do every project in here. Yes, I am. Someday before I die. I don't know when, but I like them all, so I have to kit those up. And I got 36 count Brenda's Brew. This was gonna be for Winter Rose Manor, but I couldn't hold out long enough to wait for it. So now I have 36 count Brenda's Brew by R&R to add to my stash. Other fabrics I got from, I'm in the Fabric of the Month Club at Crazy Annie Stitching. I got Dapple, which I actually really love. I've used Dapple for something else before. Picture This Plus, 36 count, and this one is Relic. So, got those two. And I got, downloaded a freebie, Tomato, totally adorable. This is from, where's this from? Lila's Studio. I think that is all that I bought. So I had some Christmas cards that I forgot to mention. Liz sent me one. Thank you so much. I love the picture. It didn't even occur to me to take a picture like with your cross stitch and send it to your cross stitch friends, because I sent out a few cards, not many, to cross stitch people, because I was like, what do you want to see my family a Christmas card for? Like, I haven't even really met you yet, so that's kind of weird, right? But then she sent hers with the cross-stitch stockings. I was like, that's brilliant. So totally stealing that idea for next year, because that is a fabulous idea. Julia from Stitcher Girls sent me a beautiful card and a floss color. Thank you so much. And Kim, Crafty Kim from Canada, sent me a card. And hot chocolate and an ornament that says, "I survived the great toilet paper hoard," which is fantastic. That is going on my tree next year. And there was something else, I think, in her little package, but I may have misplaced it. So I heard that this is really good hot chocolate. I'm hiding it from my son because he loves hot chocolate. So thank you so much, ladies, for your cards. And what else is in this pile here? Oh, more things I bought because I am a mess. I don't have all this organized. So Whilst Iris Naps Designs. She has a Flosstube, first of all. I think she's got 2 of them up there. 1 or 2 of them up there now. She has 2 designs that go on spools. So I got this one, which is Catherine Ann Jupp, 1877. And I also got Bethia Fenshaw, 1861. I'm going to do both those, put them on spools just like she did. Just have to find the spools. So, got to keep my eye out for that. And I also downloaded totally different genre of cross-stitching. This is from Cherry Hill Stitchery, North Pole Cookie Company. I do a lot of baking at Christmas time, and I make gingerbread men. I had 250 gingerbread men, I think, this year that I made. So I thought, well, that should be stitched and should go in my kitchen at Christmas. So I was debating doing like a whole gingerbread thing in the kitchen. I might, but that's going to take a long time to get it done. So we'll see. Okay. I put this on Instagram, but I thought I would show you. I did something that Priscilla from Stitching with the Housewives does, which are ornaments for your tree with family pictures. So there's my cutie patooties. This is a 4x4 picture that I had printed from Walmart. No, I take that back. Priscilla said get it printed from Walmart. I went on there and on my phone, you just like use pictures from your phone, upload them to the Walmart site. For some reason, Walmart was like finicky that night. It wasn't working. So I went to Walgreens, which is a drugstore we have around here. I'm not sure if everybody has them. Same idea. Printed them out 4x4. Then I got sticky board. So I didn't get the sticky board until after Christmas, which is why these didn't go on my tree this year. Totally fine. They're ready for next year. I bought sticky board from Fat Quarter Shop because they have 16x20 sheets. And they sent them to me in a big box so that they didn't get messed up. They weren't bent at all. It was fantastic. Thank you so much. And 16x20 divides evenly into 4x4 squares. So I didn't want to get like an 11x14 piece and have like 2 inches of waste or whatever, you know? So 16x20, cut them into 4x4 squares. I will say, it destroyed my rotary cutter blade. Like I started with a new blade, had to throw it out afterwards. I know that Priscilla uses like a guillotine cutter, you know, with the arm, you can just slice it. I'm sure that would be better. Maybe I will get one at some point, but I don't have one now. So I just said, all right, we're going to gum up the rotary cutter blade and replace it afterwards. So I did about 40 of these. And then I just glued on a ribbon to the back. I have considered, and I don't know if I will put like a piece of scrapbook paper in the back, but then I'm like, who's looking at the back of my Christmas? Like, who is walking up to my Christmas tree and flipping my ornaments over to see if the back is finished? No one's doing that, right? So, yeah, I have a whole bunch of these all ready to go. I put them in between tissue paper in this box so that, I mean, I just didn't want anything to get like stuck to it or gummed up or whatever. So those are all ready to go for my Christmas tree next year. Okay. Now I just want to show you, I think, 2 more things. For Christmas, my family does like a Secret Santa kind of thing. So instead of getting presents for all the adults, we just choose from a hat and we buy for one person. So my mother had me, which is great. You always want mom to have you, right? Because it's going to be good. It's going to be a good present if mom's got you. So she bought me a shaker box, which I want to have a lot of these, and like in my mind, in my crafty space that I will have in the basement eventually, I have like tons of shaker boxes stacked up, but they're expensive. So I actually don't have any yet. But this one is by, this is a number 6 box in cherry. It's signed Bruce C. Valentine, and I did have a card, which I've misplaced, which had his Etsy shop. So if I find it, I'll link it below. I'm not sure where that card went, though. Really beautifully done. And so this one, I don't think I'm going to like put anything in the lid or anything. I'm just going to leave it as a box and stack stuff on it or put a few things in it or whatever. And then, because she's my mom, she cross-stitched me Lori Holt's Sew by Row. I was going to do this, and now I don't have to because Mom did it for me. This is stitched on Stormy Clouds, 25 count Stormy Clouds, and it is Sew by Row by Lori Holt. I don't know if it's the called for colors, but they look pretty. I think it might be because it looks identical to the pattern. So I had mentioned that I wanted to stitch this and put it downstairs when I have my sewing space down in the basement when we're done finishing that. And so she stitched it for me. And by the way, we drew names like mid-November. So she stitched this in like a month and a half, framed it and everything. It's a really pretty frame. I don't know where it's from. I'm going to assume Hobby Lobby or Michael's because that's what we've got around here. A nice blue color. So then I decided, she has the quilt book. So there's a quilt that looks exactly like this. And I really love it. Love the colors. There's a, like Block of the Month club going on at Fat Quarter Shop, but that's a pretty large financial investment. Do I really want to do that? The thing about this is that the pieces, the quilt blocks are so big, which, I mean, that they have to be, right? But when I make quilts, I kind of like smaller pieces and smaller blocks. So it's not my normal like style of quilts, but it is perfect for a sewing room. So I think what I'm going to do is I have a cabinet that I'm going to put downstairs that my grandfather built, and it hangs on the wall, and then it comes down almost like a Murphy bed would, only it's obviously smaller than a bed, but it's a table that folds down from this cabinet, and it has a square, rectangle trim on the outside of this cabinet that when it folds down, that acts as the legs of the table. And that space, when the cabinet is folded up, you could put a picture in there or a quilt or something could hang in the legs of the table there. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of pick and choose some of the quilt blocks in here and make a quilt that is the size of that opening that I need it to be. So I'm not going to make this whole thing. First I have to measure that piece of furniture and figure out how big it is, but then I will just choose a few pieces to make into a quilt that will go there. And then it will match the cross stitch project. It'll look nice down there, but I don't think I want to do the entire quilt. So I'm super excited about that. Thanks, Mom. It's always good to have Mom as your Secret Santa, right? And I think that is all except for the giveaway that I have from last week. So I will do that next. Okay, so I have a giveaway from last time, which was all 12 of the Hands-On Design Year in Chalk patterns. And I did the random comment picker. You were to write the word chalk in your comment, and the winner for these patterns is Cindy Stephenson. So congratulations, Cindy. I will comment on your comment below, and please email me, Barbara's Daughter Flosstube @gmail.com, and I will, once I have your address, send these out to you, and happy stitching. Thank you so much for entering. And thanks for watching my video today. I'm looking around. I feel like that's everything. I'm going to go ahead and get this edited and up there. And I hope that you have a fantastic new year. 2021's got to be better than 2020, right? So anyway, I hope that you have lots of time for stitching in the new year, if nothing else. So I hope you're safe and healthy and well and enjoying your cross stitch, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.